The Unexpected Discovery, Part 1. In the charming seaside town of Sunshore, life was peaceful and slow-paced. The salty breeze blew through the streets, bringing the scent of the sea to every corner of the town. Lucas, Sophie, and Max were the best of friends and spent their days exploring the beaches, forests, and cliffs that surrounded their beloved hometown. Lucas was a curious and resourceful boy, always eager to learn new things and solve puzzles. Sophie was adventurous and brave, never afraid to climb the tallest trees or jump into the deepest waters. Max, the youngest of the three, was creative and imaginative, always coming up with new ideas for their adventures. One sunny afternoon, the friends decided to explore a part of the coast they had never visited before. With backpacks filled with snacks and water, they set off on their bikes, eager to see what they could find. The path they followed was narrow and winding, leading them through a thick forest that gradually gave way to a rocky coastline. As they pedaled along the shore, Max noticed something unusual in the distance. "Look, there's a cave over there," he exclaimed, pointing towards a small opening in the side of the cliff. Intrigued, the friends decided to investigate. They parked their bikes at the edge of the forest and climbed down the rocky slope towards the cave. The entrance to the cave was partly hidden by bushes and moss-covered rocks, but the friends managed to squeeze through. Inside, the cave was cool and dark, with only a few shafts of sunlight streaming through the cracks in the ceiling. Lucas took out a flashlight from his backpack and turned it on, illuminating the way for the trio. As they ventured deeper into the cave, they were amazed by the stunning stalactites and stalagmites that adorned the walls and floor. The friends couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder at the natural beauty that lay hidden beneath the earth. Suddenly, Sophie spotted something strange on one of the cave walls. "Guys, come look at this," she said, her voice echoing through the cavern. Lucas and Max hurried over to see what Sophie had found. The wall was covered in strange markings, like an ancient language or symbols. The friends were puzzled but excited by their discovery. "What do you think it means?" asked Max, his eyes wide with curiosity. "I don't know," replied Lucas, "but we should take some pictures and show them to someone who might be able to help us figure it out." The friends took out their phones and snapped several photos of the mysterious markings. As they left the cave, they couldn't stop talking about their incredible find. Little did they know that their discovery would lead them on a thrilling adventure beyond their wildest dreams. Chapter 1. The Unexpected Discovery, Part 2. The next day at school, the friends couldn't stop thinking about the mysterious markings they had discovered in the cave. They knew they needed to find someone knowledgeable who could help them understand what the symbols meant. During lunch break, they decided to visit the school library and show the pictures to Mrs. Parker, the librarian. Mrs. Parker was known for her vast knowledge of history and ancient languages. She was kind and patient, always eager to help students with their questions and projects. As they entered the library, they found Mrs. Parker at her desk, sorting through a pile of books. They approached her and showed her the pictures they had taken in the cave. The librarian studied the images carefully, her eyes narrowing in concentration. "These symbols are quite fascinating," she said thoughtfully. "They appear to be an ancient form of writing, but I can't be certain. I'll need some time to research this further. Can you come back tomorrow, and I'll let you know what I find?" The friends agreed and thanked Mrs. Parker for her help. They spent the rest of the day anxiously awaiting the results of her research. They couldn't help but discuss theories about the mysterious symbols and what they could mean. The following day, the friends returned to the library, eager to hear what Mrs. Parker had discovered. As they entered, they found her waiting for them with a stack of books on her desk. "I've been researching these symbols all night," she said, her eyes bright with excitement. "I believe they belong to an ancient civilization that once lived on a legendary island known as Crystal Island." The friends exchanged surprised glances. They had heard stories about Crystal Island, a mythical place said to be hidden somewhere near their town. According to the legends, the island was home to a powerful secret that had been lost for centuries. Mrs. Parker continued, The civilization that once lived on Crystal Island had a unique way of encoding messages, which is what I believe these markings are. I think you've discovered an ancient message that might hold the key to finding Crystal Island and its hidden secret. The friends couldn't believe what they were hearing. Their curiosity and excitement grew, and they knew that they had to uncover the secret of Crystal Island. They thanked Mrs. Parker and asked her if she could help them decipher the message. Over the next few days, the friends worked closely with Mrs. Parker, studying the symbols and trying to decode the ancient message. After countless hours of research and discussions, they finally managed to translate the markings. The message read, "Seek the path that lies beneath the waves, where the sun and moon embrace. There you shall find the key to Crystal Island's hidden gate." With the translated message in hand, the friends knew that their adventure was just beginning. They were determined to follow the clues and find the legendary Crystal Island. And so, the journey of Lucas, Sophie, and Max to uncover the island's long-lost secret had begun. Chapter 2. Unraveling the Clues, Part 1. With the mysterious message translated, Lucas, Sophie, and Max were eager to begin their quest to find Crystal Island. They knew that the journey would be challenging, but they were determined to uncover the island's secret. The friends decided to meet after school to discuss their plan of action. They gathered at Lucas's house, where they spread out the translated message and a map of the coastline on the living room floor. "Let's go over the message again," suggested Sophie. "Seek the path that lies beneath the waves, where the sun and moon embrace. What do you think it means?" Max pondered the words for a moment before offering an idea. Maybe it's referring to a place where the sun and moon can be seen together in the sky. You know, like during an eclipse or something. Lucas nodded thoughtfully. "That's a possibility, but those events are pretty rare. We'd have to figure out when the next one is happening, and if it's even visible from our town." Sophie had another idea. What if the sun and moon embrace is a metaphor for something else, like a location where two natural elements meet? Maybe it's talking about a place where the ocean and the forest meet, or something like that. Lucas and Max agreed that Sophie's interpretation made sense. They decided to explore the coastline further, looking for any unique locations where the ocean and the forest, or any other natural elements, appeared to embrace. The friends spent the next few days walking along the shore and through the forest, searching for any signs that could lead them closer to Crystal Island. They paid close attention to the landscape, noting any unusual features or landmarks that could be related to the cryptic message. One afternoon, as they were hiking along a rocky stretch of the coast, Max suddenly stopped in his tracks. "Guys, look at that!" he exclaimed, pointing towards a spot where the ocean waves crashed against a cliff face. There, the friends noticed that the water had eroded the rocks, creating a narrow passage that seemed to lead beneath the cliff. Could this be the path beneath the waves the message was talking about? Lucas wondered aloud, excitement growing in his voice. Sophie agreed. "It's worth checking out. Maybe this passage leads to something important." With a sense of anticipation, the friends made their way to the entrance of the passage. The waves splashed around their ankles as they carefully maneuvered through the rocky opening. Once inside, they discovered that the passage led to a hidden cove, where the ocean met the base of a dense forest. The friends couldn't help but marvel at the beautiful sight. It seemed as if they had found the place where the sun and moon embraced, just as the message had hinted. As they explored the cove, they noticed a peculiar marking engraved on one of the rocks. It was the same ancient symbol they had found in the cave. The friends exchanged excited glances, realizing that they were on the right track. With renewed determination, Lucas, Sophie, and Max continued their search for the key to Crystal Island's hidden gate, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead on their thrilling adventure. Chapter 2. Unraveling the Clues, Part 2. Lucas, Sophie, and Max continued to study the ancient texts, gradually deciphering more about the mysterious island and its hidden power. The more they learned, the more convinced they became that the knowledge and wisdom contained within the island could transform the world and benefit countless lives. As they delved further into the texts, they discovered a series of cryptic clues that seemed to point to a way to unlock the full potential of the crystals. These clues were scattered throughout the manuscripts, hidden among the tales of the island's history and the descriptions of its unique flora and fauna. The three friends knew that they needed to unravel these clues in order to truly understand the power of the crystals and the legacy they were entrusted with. Working together, Lucas, Sophie, and Max began the painstaking process of piecing together the scattered clues. They spent long hours poring over the texts, cross-referencing information, and combining their diverse skills and expertise to uncover the hidden messages. Over time, their efforts began to bear fruit, as the seemingly disconnected pieces of information started to form a coherent picture. They realized that the clues were leading them to specific locations across the island, where they would find further revelations about the true nature of the crystals and the secrets they held. With renewed determination, the friends embarked on a journey across the island, following the trail of clues and uncovering hidden chambers and ancient artifacts that shed more light on the island's history and the power of the crystals. Each new discovery brought them closer to understanding the full potential of the knowledge they had been entrusted with and the responsibility they had to share it with the world. As Lucas, Sophie, and Max continued their quest to unravel the clues and unlock the secrets of the island, they found themselves growing closer as friends and allies, united by their shared purpose and their unwavering belief in the power of knowledge to change the world for the better. Together, they were determined to honor the legacy of Crystal Island and ensure that its wisdom would be used to benefit all of humanity. Chapter 3. The Key to the Gate, Part 1. With the discovery of the hidden cove, Lucas, Sophie, and Max felt certain that they were on the right path to finding Crystal Island. They decided to investigate the area thoroughly, searching for any clues that might lead them to the key mentioned in the ancient message. As they scoured the cove, they found several more engravings on the rocks, similar to the ones they had seen in the cave. It became evident that these markings were guiding them towards something important. As the sun began to set, casting a warm glow over the cove, the friends decided to set up camp for the night. They knew that they would need their energy for the challenges ahead. After enjoying a simple meal of sandwiches and fruit, they gathered around a small campfire, discussing their next steps. "We need to keep following these markings," Sophie suggested. "They've led us this far, so they must be pointing us towards the key." Lucas agreed. "We should also keep an eye out for any other unusual features or signs. The key might be hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to find it." As the night wore on, the friends took turns keeping watch while the others slept. They knew that their adventure was far from over, and they were eager to uncover the secrets that Crystal Island held. Chapter 3. The Key to the Gate, Part 2. The following morning, the friends woke up feeling refreshed and ready to continue their search. They packed up their belongings and followed the engraved markings deeper into the dense forest that bordered the cove. As they ventured further, they noticed that the markings were becoming more frequent and intricate. It was clear that they were approaching something significant. Their excitement grew with each step, and they couldn't help but imagine what the key to Crystal Island's hidden gate might look like. After several hours of walking, the friends found themselves at the entrance of a small hidden clearing. At the center of the clearing stood a large, ancient-looking stone pedestal. The pedestal was adorned with the same symbols they had been following, and at its top was a perfectly round indentation. "It looks like something is supposed to fit into this indentation," Max observed, studying the pedestal closely. Sophie nodded in agreement. "It must be the key we've been searching for. But where can we find it?" As the friends pondered this question, Lucas noticed a beam of sunlight filtering through the trees and striking the pedestal. He quickly realized that the sunlight was illuminating a series of symbols that formed a riddle. "Look at this," Lucas exclaimed, pointing to the riddle. "Maybe solving this riddle will help us find the key." With renewed hope, the friends set to work deciphering the riddle, knowing that the answer would bring them one step closer to unlocking the secret of Crystal Island. Chapter 3. The Key to the Gate, Part 3. The riddle engraved on the stone pedestal read, "Born from the sky, in darkness I dwell, my form unseen, but my voice a clear bell. In the still of the night, my path is made clear. Seek my embrace, and the key will appear." The friends spent hours pondering the riddle, discussing its possible meanings and how it might relate to the key. As the day turned into evening and the sky darkened, they still had not reached a definitive conclusion. However, as night fell and the stars began to twinkle in the sky, a sudden realization struck Lucas. "I think I know what the riddle is referring to," he said excitedly. "It's talking about the stars." Sophie and Max considered Lucas's interpretation, and it began to make sense. The riddle seemed to describe the celestial bodies that were only visible at night. They quickly turned their attention to the night sky, scanning the constellations for any clues that might help them find the key. As they gazed at the stars, they noticed that the arrangement of certain constellations seemed to form a pattern that matched some of the symbols on the pedestal. They carefully followed the pattern, and it led them to a specific spot within the clearing. The friends hurried to the location, and to their amazement, they discovered a hidden compartment buried beneath the ground. Inside the compartment was a beautifully crafted crystal orb, emitting a soft, enchanting glow. With hearts pounding in anticipation, they carefully retrieved the orb and placed it into the indentation on the pedestal. As the orb settled into place, a brilliant beam of light shot into the sky, revealing a hidden path that led to the long-lost Crystal Island. Filled with excitement and awe, Lucas, Sophie, and Max knew that their adventure had truly begun. They were ready to face the challenges that lay ahead and uncover the powerful secret that had been hidden for centuries. Chapter 4. The Journey to Crystal Island. Part 1. With the hidden path revealed, Lucas, Sophie, and Max eagerly began their journey towards Crystal Island. The path was unlike anything they had ever seen, comprised of shimmering, translucent stepping stones that seemed to float above the water. As they carefully made their way along the path, they couldn't help but marvel at the incredible sight before them. The ocean sparkled like a sea of diamonds beneath the moonlit sky, and the stars shone brighter than ever before. It was as if the very heavens were guiding them on their quest. The friends soon realized that the path was not as simple as it appeared. The stepping stones would occasionally shift and change direction, requiring them to pay close attention to their surroundings and maintain their balance. "Remember, we need to stick together and watch each other's backs," Sophie reminded her friends as they traversed the ever-changing path. "We have no idea what other challenges we might face on our way to Crystal Island." As the night wore on, the friends encountered several obstacles that tested their courage and determination. At one point, they had to leap between rapidly moving stepping stones, timing their jumps perfectly to avoid falling into the water below. At another, they were forced to navigate a maze-like section of the path, using their wits and intuition to find the correct route. Despite the challenges, Lucas, Sophie, and Max never wavered in their resolve. They knew that they were closer than ever to discovering the secret of Crystal Island, and they were determined to see their adventure through to the end. Part 2. As the first light of dawn began to break on the horizon, the friends finally caught sight of Crystal Island. It was a breathtaking sight, with lush green forests, towering cliffs, and a sparkling waterfall that seemed to cascade from the very clouds themselves. As they approached the island, they noticed a grand ancient gate made of intricately carved stone. The gate was adorned with the same symbols they had been following throughout their journey, and they knew that they had finally arrived at their destination. The friends approached the gate cautiously, unsure of what they might find on the other side. As they drew closer, they noticed that the crystal orb they had discovered earlier was glowing brighter than ever before. "Maybe we need to use the orb to open the gate," Lucas suggested, carefully removing the orb from his backpack. Sophie and Max agreed, and they watched as Lucas placed the orb into a matching indentation on the gate. As the orb settled into place, the gate began to rumble and slowly opened, revealing a path that led into the heart of Crystal Island. Filled with excitement and anticipation, the friends stepped through the gate and embarked on the next phase of their adventure. They knew that whatever challenges they faced, they would face them together as a team. Part 3. Inside the island, the friends discovered a breathtaking landscape of lush forests, crystal-clear rivers, and fields of vibrant flowers. It was a place of incredible beauty, but it was also clear that there were secrets hidden within its depths. As they explored the island, the friends encountered numerous puzzles and challenges that tested their intelligence, creativity, and courage. Each challenge seemed to lead them deeper into the heart of the island, and they knew that they were drawing closer to the powerful secret they sought. Throughout their journey, they also discovered clues and artifacts that shed light on the history of Crystal Island and the ancient civilization that once called it home. They learned that the island was once a thriving center of knowledge and wisdom, but a terrible catastrophe had befallen the inhabitants, causing their society to collapse and the island to be lost for centuries. The friends couldn't help but feel a sense of responsibility for the legacy of the island's ancient inhabitants. They knew that uncovering the secret of Crystal Island could help to restore the lost knowledge and wisdom that had once flourished there. Part 4. After days of exploration and solving increasingly complex challenges, Lucas, Sophie, and Max finally reached the heart of Crystal Island. There, they discovered a magnificent crystal palace, its walls shimmering with the colors of the rainbow. As they entered the palace, they were awestruck by the beauty and grandeur that surrounded them. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings and murals that depicted scenes from the island's history, and the air was filled with a sense of magic and mystery. In the center of the palace, they found a grand chamber that housed a massive crystal throne. Upon the throne sat an ancient figure, seemingly made of crystal himself. The figure radiated an aura of wisdom and authority, and the friends knew that they had finally found the guardian of Crystal Island's secret. The guardian spoke to them in a voice that echoed through the chamber. "You have shown great courage and determination in your quest to reach this place," he said. "You have proven yourselves worthy of uncovering the secret of Crystal Island." The friends listened intently as the guardian revealed the secret they had been seeking. The power of the island lay in its crystals, which contained the accumulated knowledge and wisdom of the ancient civilization that had once thrived there. The crystals had the power to unlock the potential within each person, allowing them to access the knowledge and abilities they needed to overcome any challenge. However, the guardian warned them that this power came with a great responsibility. "You must use this knowledge wisely, and for the benefit of all," he cautioned. If misused, the power of the crystals could bring destruction instead of enlightenment. With the secret of Crystal Island revealed, the friends knew that their adventure was far from over. They had a responsibility to share the knowledge and wisdom they had discovered with the world, helping to create a brighter future for all. As they left the Crystal Palace and began their journey back to their hometown, Lucas, Sophie, and Max felt a newfound sense of purpose and determination. They were no longer just three friends on an adventure. They were the guardians of Crystal Island's legacy, and they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead in their quest to share its power with the world. Chapter 5. Guardians of the Legacy. Part 1. Upon returning to their hometown, Lucas, Sophie, and Max were eager to share the knowledge and wisdom they had gained on Crystal Island. They knew that they had a responsibility to use the power of the crystals for the benefit of all, and they were determined to make a positive impact on the world. To do this, the friends decided to establish a secret society, dedicated to preserving and sharing the knowledge they had discovered. They called their society the Guardians of the Legacy, and they invited others who shared their passion for knowledge and their desire to create a better future to join them. The Guardians of the Legacy quickly attracted a diverse group of members, each with their own unique skills and talents. Together, they worked to decipher the ancient wisdom contained within the crystals and apply it to various fields, such as science, technology, medicine, and the arts. As the influence of the Guardians of the Legacy grew, so too did their ability to make a positive impact on the world. They developed groundbreaking new technologies, made incredible medical breakthroughs, and fostered a greater understanding of the arts and humanities. The world began to take notice, and the legacy of Crystal Island started to spread far and wide. Part 2. However, the friends soon discovered that their newfound power also attracted the attention of those with less noble intentions. There were those who sought to use the knowledge of Crystal Island for their own personal gain, and they would stop at nothing to obtain the power of the crystals. As the guardians of the legacy continued their work, they found themselves increasingly targeted by these malicious forces. The society's members were often in danger, and they had to be constantly vigilant to protect themselves and their mission. In response to these threats, the Friends decided to establish a defensive division within the Guardians of the Legacy, dedicated to protecting the society and its members. They recruited skilled fighters and strategists, who were trained in the use of the crystal's power to defend themselves and others. Under the leadership of Lucas, Sophie, and Max, the Guardians of the Legacy became a formidable force, able to fend off attacks and keep their members safe. However, they knew that their true strength lay not in their ability to fight, but in their unity and their commitment to the greater good. Part 3. As the years passed, the Guardians of the Legacy continued to grow and thrive, making incredible advancements in various fields and using their power to create a better world. The society gained the respect and admiration of people around the globe, and the legacy of Crystal Island became a symbol of hope and progress. However, the Friends knew that their mission was far from over. They had to continue to protect the knowledge and power of Crystal Island from those who would misuse it, and they had to ensure that the wisdom of the ancient civilization would be preserved for future generations. To do this, the Guardians of the Legacy established a network of hidden libraries and repositories, where they stored copies of the crystals and the knowledge they contained. These repositories were carefully guarded and accessible only to the society's most trusted members, ensuring that the knowledge would remain safe and secure. As the leaders of the Guardians of the Legacy, Lucas, Sophie, and Max devoted their lives to their mission, guiding the society through periods of both triumph and adversity. They faced countless challenges along the way, but they never wavered in their determination to uphold the legacy of Crystal Island and create a better future for all. Part 5. Under the guidance of the new leaders, the Guardians of the Legacy continued to evolve and adapt to the challenges of a changing world. They expanded their efforts, reaching out to communities in need, and using their knowledge and resources to improve the lives of people around the globe. As they worked to create a better future, the Guardians of the Legacy also focused on preserving the past. They devoted time and resources to the study and preservation of the ancient civilization that had once thrived on Crystal Island, ensuring that their legacy would not be forgotten. The Society's members also continued to explore the depths of the island, uncovering new secrets and gaining a deeper understanding of the power and wisdom contained within the crystals. They knew that there was still much to learn and that their quest for knowledge would never truly be complete. As the years turned into decades and then into centuries, the Guardians of the Legacy remained steadfast in their mission. The legacy of Crystal Island had become a beacon of hope and a symbol of the power of knowledge and unity to change the world for the better. In their hearts, Lucas, Sophie, and Max knew that their adventure had been more than just a quest for a hidden treasure. It had been a journey of self-discovery, of friendship, and of the power that comes from working together to achieve a common goal. And as the world continued to change and evolve, the Guardians of the Legacy would be there, guiding humanity towards a brighter future and ensuring that the legacy of Crystal Island would live on forever. Epilogue. A timeless legacy. Many generations had passed since the founding of the Guardians of the Legacy, and the world had been forever changed by their work. The knowledge and wisdom of Crystal Island had become an integral part of human history, inspiring progress and innovation in countless fields. The descendants of Lucas, Sophie, and Max continued to play a vital role in the Guardians of the Legacy, ensuring that the values and ideals of the society were upheld and passed down to each new generation. Their names had become synonymous with courage, wisdom, and a tireless commitment to the greater good. As the world continued to face new challenges and opportunities, the guardians of the legacy remained a constant presence, guiding humanity towards a better future. They never stopped seeking new knowledge and wisdom, exploring the depths of Crystal Island and beyond in search of untapped potential and hidden secrets. The Society's members often looked back on the stories of their founders with admiration and gratitude, drawing inspiration from their incredible journey and unwavering determination. The legacy of Lucas, Sophie, and Max had become a source of strength for the Guardians, reminding them of the power of unity and the importance of using knowledge for the benefit of all. And so, the Guardians of the Legacy continued their mission, embracing the challenges and opportunities that lay ahead. With each new discovery and breakthrough, they furthered the legacy of Crystal Island, ensuring that its wisdom and power would continue to shape the world for generations to come. In the end, the story of Lucas, Sophie, and Max was more than just an adventure. It was a testament to the power of friendship, the resilience of the human spirit, and the timeless impact of a single shared dream. And as long as the Guardians of the Legacy carried on their work, the legacy of Crystal Island would endure, a beacon of hope and a shining example of the limitless potential of knowledge and unity. Chapter 6. The Rising Tide of Change. Part 1. Years had passed since the Guardians of the Legacy had ushered in a new era of progress and innovation. The knowledge and wisdom of Crystal Island had become an essential part of the world's development, benefiting countless lives and inspiring new generations of thinkers and dreamers. However, as the world continued to evolve, new challenges arose that would test the Guardians' resilience and adaptability. In a remote corner of the world, a mysterious force had begun to grow in power and influence. This force, known as the Rising Tide, sought to exploit the knowledge and resources of Crystal Island for their own dark purposes. They believed that the wisdom contained within the crystals should not be shared freely, but rather should be used to assert their dominance over others. As news of the Rising Tide's activities reached the Guardians of the Legacy, they knew that they could not stand idly by and allow this threat to go unchecked. The values and principles that the Society had been founded upon were at stake, and it was their responsibility to protect the legacy of Crystal Island and ensure that its power continued to be used for the greater good. To counter the threat posed by the Rising Tide, the Guardians assembled a team of their most skilled and experienced members, led by the descendants of Lucas, Sophie, and Max. This team, known as the Vanguard, was tasked with infiltrating the Rising Tide's ranks, gathering intelligence on their plans, and ultimately stopping them from using the knowledge of Crystal Island for nefarious purposes. As the Vanguard prepared to embark on their mission, they knew that they would be facing a formidable foe. The Rising Tide had already demonstrated their ruthlessness and cunning, and they would undoubtedly stop at nothing to achieve their goals. However, the Vanguard was undeterred, drawing strength from the legacy of their founders and the values that had guided the Guardians of the Legacy for generations. With the fate of Crystal Island and the world hanging in the balance, the Vanguard set out on their mission, determined to put an end to the Rising Tide's ambitions and preserve the legacy of knowledge and unity that the Guardians had worked so tirelessly to uphold. As the Vanguard journeyed to the heart of the Rising Tide's territory, they encountered numerous obstacles and challenges along the way. The path was fraught with danger, as the Rising Tide had laid clever traps and employed powerful guardians to protect their secrets. The Vanguard was forced to rely on their skills, wits, and the wisdom they had gained from Crystal Island to overcome these challenges and continue their mission. The Vanguard's journey also took them to distant lands and ancient ruins, where they discovered remnants of long-forgotten civilizations that had once possessed knowledge similar to that of Crystal Island. These discoveries fueled their determination to protect the wisdom of Crystal Island from being misused, as they realized the potential consequences if such knowledge were to fall into the wrong hands. As they drew closer to their destination, the vanguard encountered other groups and individuals who shared their concerns about the rising tide's intentions. These allies, hailing from diverse backgrounds and possessing unique abilities, pledged their support to the vanguard and the guardians of the legacy, uniting against the common threat posed by the rising tide. With their ranks bolstered by these new allies, the vanguard pressed on, their determination unwavering in the face of adversity. The path ahead was shrouded in darkness and uncertainty, but the light of Crystal Island's legacy served as a guiding star, leading them ever closer to the confrontation that would decide the fate of the world and the timeless wisdom they had sworn to protect. Part 2. Finally, the vanguard reached the stronghold of the rising tide, a heavily fortified compound hidden deep within a remote and treacherous mountain range. As they surveyed the imposing fortress, they knew that infiltrating it would be no easy task. However, their resolve was unshakable, and they began to devise a plan to breach the stronghold and confront the leaders of the rising tide. Utilizing the unique skills and talents of their diverse team, the vanguard launched a daring assault on the compound. While some members created a diversion to draw the attention of the rising tide's forces, others used their expertise in stealth and infiltration to slip undetected into the heart of the stronghold. Inside the fortress, the vanguard discovered a vast underground network of tunnels and chambers, filled with laboratories and workshops where the rising tide was harnessing the power of the crystals for their own nefarious purposes. The vanguard was horrified by the extent to which the rising tide had twisted the knowledge of Crystal Island, using it to create weapons of destruction and oppression, rather than enlightenment and unity. As they made their way deeper into the stronghold, the vanguard encountered fierce resistance from the rising tide's forces. However, they were undeterred, fighting bravely and using the wisdom and power of the crystals to overcome their adversaries. Finally, the vanguard reached the inner sanctum of the rising tide, where they confronted the organization's enigmatic leader. A fierce battle ensued, with both sides wielding the power of the crystals in a clash of wills and ideologies. Throughout the conflict, the vanguard remained steadfast in their belief in the principles of the guardians of the legacy. They fought not for personal gain or glory, but for the preservation of knowledge and the betterment of all. As the battle raged on, the vanguard drew strength from the legacy of their founders, Lucas, Sophie, and Max, and the unbreakable bonds of friendship that had been forged on their journey. In the end, the vanguard emerged victorious, defeating the leader of the rising tide and dismantling the organization's plans to exploit the knowledge of Crystal Island. The stronghold was liberated, and the power of the crystals was returned to its rightful purpose, to enlighten, unite, and uplift. With their mission complete, the vanguard returned to the guardians of the legacy, where they were hailed as heroes. Their triumph over the rising tide served as a testament to the power of unity and the enduring strength of the ideals upon which the guardians had been founded. In the years that followed, the guardians of the legacy continued to work tirelessly to protect and share the wisdom of Crystal Island. The vanguard's victory had served as a reminder of the importance of their mission and the ever-present threat posed by those who sought to misuse the power of the crystals. And so, the guardians remained vigilant, standing as a beacon of hope and a shining example of the limitless potential of knowledge and unity. They knew that their work would never truly be complete, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, confident in their ability to overcome adversity and build a brighter future for all. Chapter 7. A New Horizon. Part 1. The triumph of the vanguard over the rising tide marked the beginning of a new era for the guardians of the legacy. Their victory had not only preserved the wisdom of Crystal Island, but had also strengthened the bonds between the members of the guardians and their allies. United by a common purpose, they worked together to ensure that the knowledge and power of the crystals were used for the betterment of all. In the years that followed, the guardians continued to expand their efforts, reaching out to communities across the globe and using the wisdom of Crystal Island to address pressing issues and improve the lives of countless people. They collaborated with scientists, scholars, and artists, fostering a global network of knowledge and innovation that pushed the boundaries of human understanding. As the Guardians' influence grew, so too did their ability to effect positive change in the world. They launched initiatives to combat poverty, disease, and inequality, using the power of the crystals to develop new technologies and solutions that addressed the root causes of these issues. They also worked to protect the environment and preserve the planet's natural resources, recognizing that a healthy and thriving Earth was essential for the continued well-being of its inhabitants. However, the Guardians also knew that their work was far from over. The world was ever-changing, and new challenges and opportunities would inevitably arise. They understood that it was their responsibility to remain vigilant and adaptable, ready to face whatever the future might hold. One day, the Guardians received word of a new discovery, a second island, hidden deep within the world's oceans, that was rumored to hold secrets and knowledge that rivaled those of Crystal Island. This revelation sent a wave of excitement and anticipation through the society, as they realized that this new island could hold the key to unlocking even greater potential for humanity. The Guardians assembled a new team, comprised of both seasoned veterans and promising new members, to embark on an expedition to locate and explore this mysterious island. This team, dubbed the Pioneers, would follow in the footsteps of Lucas, Sophie, and Max, forging a new path into the unknown and expanding the horizons of human knowledge and understanding. As the Pioneers prepared to set sail, they were reminded of the legacy of their founders and the values that had guided the Guardians of the Legacy for generations. They knew that they were embarking on a journey that would test their courage, their determination, and their unity, but they were ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. Part 2. With the blessings and support of the Guardians of the Legacy, the Pioneers set sail on their voyage, guided by the same spirit of adventure and curiosity that had driven their predecessors. As they journeyed across the vast and uncharted seas, they faced numerous challenges and obstacles, from treacherous storms to encounters with enigmatic sea creatures. However, they never wavered in their determination, drawing upon the knowledge and wisdom of Crystal Island to overcome each challenge they faced. After a long and arduous journey, the Pioneers finally arrived at the second island, which they named Discovery Island. As they set foot on its shores, they were struck by the beauty and diversity of the landscape, which seemed to encompass every aspect of the natural world, from lush forests to towering mountains and crystalline lakes. As the Pioneers began to explore Discovery Island, they soon realized that it was indeed a treasure trove of knowledge and wisdom. Hidden within its depths were ancient ruins and artifacts that hinted at the existence of a long-lost civilization, one that had possessed a deep understanding of the world and the secrets of the universe. The Pioneers also discovered that Discovery Island was home to a unique and powerful energy, similar to that of the crystals of Crystal Island. This energy seemed to permeate every aspect of the island, imbuing it with a sense of wonder and potential that inspired the Pioneers to delve deeper into its mysteries. As they continued their exploration, the Pioneers encountered other groups and individuals who had also been drawn to Discovery Island by its promise of knowledge and enlightenment. These new allies, like those who had joined the vanguard in their battle against the rising tide, brought with them diverse skills and perspectives that enriched the Pioneers' own understanding and helped them to unlock the secrets of the island. Together, the Pioneers and their allies worked to unravel the mysteries of Discovery Island, documenting their findings and sharing their discoveries with the Guardians of the Legacy and the world beyond. The knowledge and wisdom they gained had the potential to transform the world in ways they could scarcely imagine, opening up new horizons of possibility and progress. As the Pioneers continued their work on Discovery Island, they knew that their journey was far from over. There would always be new challenges to face, new secrets to uncover, and new alliances to forge. However, they were also confident in their ability to meet these challenges and continue the legacy of the Guardians of the Legacy. In the end, the story of the Guardians of the Legacy, the Vanguard, and the Pioneers was more than just a tale of adventure and discovery. It was a testament to the power of unity, the resilience of the human spirit, and the boundless potential of knowledge and wisdom to change the world for the better. as long as there were those who sought to uncover the secrets of the universe and use them for the benefit of all. The legacy of Crystal Island and Discovery Island would endure, inspiring new generations of dreamers and explorers to reach for the stars and shape the future of humanity.